With Donald Trump's big win in Iowa, California is poised to put him over the top and make him officially the Republican nominee for president in 2024. Coming up, we'll tell you all the details. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and wow, what a landslide, an absolute crushing victory for President Trump in the Iowa caucuses, exceeding even lofty expectations that his campaign had. It's a record. He won by the greatest amount in a multi-candidate field in the Iowa caucus in the history of the caucuses. And California, with its internal rules for how it handles the Republican presidential primary, California is going to make Donald Trump the Republican nominee officially. Now, we know that he's the guy, right? He is the standard bearer. He is the party leader. He is going to be the nominee. I've said it from the very beginning when he announced that this is already done and that any candidate running is wasting money. And what really frustrates the hell out of me is the amount of money on the Republican side that has been wasted thus far in the presidential contest. Every dollar spent on behalf of Haley and DeSantis and some of these other cartoon characters, every dollar could have gone into flipping a congressional seat, or, hey, if you have so much money to waste, can you send some of that Republican money back to California so that we can fight the good fight behind enemy lines? Of course not, because Republicans are stupid. And a lot of the money going in to the Never Trumpers are actually people who are not Republicans. They actually vehemently disagree with the sort of agenda, the reform agenda that we're trying to bring. So I want to get this nomination done and over as quickly as possible. That's why at Reform California, on my voter guide, we have officially endorsed President Trump, proudly so. It's a waste of time and money to have anyone spend any money on any other candidates in our state. Now, under California's rules, the nomination will probably be locked up for President Trump on March 5th, with our votes being finally cast and counted. The Republicans in California will put Donald Trump over the top from an official standpoint. Real quick, just even CNN last night had to admit that Trump had a good night, but they couldn't help themselves. They had to get in one of their biased, swarmy attack lines. Here's CNN. Trump's landslide Iowa win is a stunning show of strength after leaving Washington in disgrace. Stunning show of strength. Stunning perhaps to CNN insiders, soy boys who are completely untethered with the rest of America, but predictable as we've seen people hungry for a fighter like Donald Trump nationally. But let's talk about California. On the heels of Trump winning that big landslide in Iowa, a poll is out from the Berkeley Institute of Government Studies, the Berkeley IGS poll. Headline: new poll puts Trump in a position to win all California delegates. The way in which California is allocating their delegates, they get 169 delegates to the Republican National Convention. That is the largest delegation of any state. So it's a big prize. But even better, California is winner take all if a candidate gets 50% plus one. If they get less than 50%, if the candidates all split up the vote, then it will be proportional, and those 169 delegates get chop. But Trump right now is basically got this locked. The IGS poll, which was conducted January 4 to 8 here in California, of 6,199 voters, so it's a pretty darn big poll, said that 66% of Republicans plan to vote for President Trump. 66%. He could shed 16 points and still get all the delegates. And I don't think he's going to shed 16 points. I think he's going to be probably cracking 70% of the vote. Yes, I just made a prediction, 70%. That is like, I don't know, Saddam Hussein type numbers. 66% in this poll plan to vote for Trump. Only 11% with Nikki Haley, 8% with Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, 3%. By the way, he dropped out of the race yesterday, as predicted. This is a huge shift because 11 months ago, DeSantis was actually slightly ahead of Donald Trump, 37-29 in California. This is a big deal. Republican voters have seen this entire campaign. They've seen the fake attacks against Trump, the phony indictments, the smears, the constant negativity from the media, and they've made a decision. Trump is their fighter. And a lot of us have known that all along. It's just that these Republican insiders, the consultants who make money off of failing, they don't care. They're pissing away good money that should go to the fight to try to move back and push back against the Democrats' agenda, particularly here in California. If they have so much money to spend on these presidential races, a losing bet, hundreds of millions of dollars, by the way, for Nikki Haley, hundreds of millions of dollars for Ron DeSantis. If you just gave us $50 million, we would substantially transform California politics in one cycle. So I'm looking forward to casting my ballot for President Trump. I'm urging you to as well. We have our voter guide online at reformcalifornia.org. Actually, go to electionguidecalifornia.org, electionguidecalifornia.org, and there it'll take you to this page directly. You can either go to reformcalifornia.org, click under voter guide, or just go to electionguidecalifornia.org, and you'll find our full voter guide is up there for the state of California as a whole, but we also do breakdowns county by county for your local races. And we give you a plain English description of the ballot measures, particularly the very deceptively titled Prop 1, which is a really bad ballot measure that raids treatment funds for homeless programs, homeless people, and puts the money into the hands of rich developers to build welfare housing units in your neighborhood. It's absurd. We're urging a no vote on that, but we have endorsements on every key race across the state of California. As I mentioned, we've endorsed President Trump, but we've endorsed in all the state assembly, state senate races, congressional races. So check that out at electionguidecalifornia.org. While you're on that site, please chip in a contribution to the fight. The contributions that we are collecting right now are going to help us get out the voter guide in time to reach target voters. Our plain English voter guide, we're mailing it out statewide. We're also using digital ads, text messages, door-to-door canvassing to get the message out. So contribute whatever you can at reformcalifornia.org, that top button to make your contribution. We are up against powerful special interests, and I want to bring you this story today. No surprise, Pfizer campaign contributions, $162,400 in the 2021-2022 cycle to just California legislators in the state of California. This is just to California Assembly members and state senators. It does not count the governor, doesn't count local mayors and county board members. And all of these folks locked down our economy. They shut down the schools. They implemented mandates. And of course, Pfizer profited. And so, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at what's going on. Bad policies and a bunch of money flowing to these elected officials. And again, this is not capturing the local government officials that did their own mandates and enforcement actions, who fired firefighters, police officers, and other employees who didn't, follow the mandate. It is absurd. It is outrageous. It was a violation of our constitutional rights on so many levels. It led to so much damage. We will never have a full accounting of the damage, and that is outrageous. But if you follow the money, you can see why. Millions and millions of dollars. Pfizer nationally gave more than $8.5 million to state legislators around the country. And this is their political action report that the report is drawn from. Finally, I want to talk about my own race. As some of you know, I'm running for California State Assembly. We've decided to take the Reform California fight and go inside the belly of the beast. Oh, the Sacramento swamp is flipping out. In fact, I heard it described to me One of my contacts up in Sacramento said, yeah, I was at a cocktail reception. They were bashing on you. They said that you're an existential threat. And my response is, well, they would be right. We are going to be an existential threat to business as usual in Sacramento. We're going up there to try to drain that swamp. And we're going to speak truth to power. We're going to bring you into the process in a way that hasn't been done ever before. And man, they are going to be pissed off up there because I plan to do this show from inside the state legislature every day. And I'm going to tell you what's going on behind closed doors. And I'm going to be the most unpopular person up there. And that is all well and good because you deserve to know what really is going on in Sacramento. But I need to let you know that we're up against that machine. They are opposing me in the March 2024 primary. They've opened up something called an independent expenditure committee. This is something, basically, this is an attack campaign. They've got a dark money group that's formed just to smear my candidacy and try to stop our movement. They don't want Reform California to get me inside the legislature. They don't want to have a Reform California caucus of multiple legislators working together to fix the system and reform the system and fight the corruption. They see that as a threat, an existential threat. So they're trying to make an example out of me. If they can defeat me in the March primary, then it sends a chilling message to rhino Republicans and anyone else thinking about fighting. Don't you dare do this, or else the same will happen to you. So the bullies are coming, and I'm going to need your help. Again, the best way for you to help is like this video, subscribe to the channel so you keep yourself updated on what's going on. Click that notification button so you get updates every day at 5 o'clock when we post a new episode. And of course, please do contribute. I cannot fight the dark money, the special interest money alone. I need your help. Even $5 tossed into the campaign right now is crucial. Go to reformcalifornia.org, reformcalifornia.org to contribute. Let me tell you a story, though, that illustrates the consequences of doing the right thing. So some of you know I am a big proponent of recalls. I like to recall bad politicians from office when they're corrupt. That's what the recall is for. And the last time I did a recall at the state level, we ended the Democrat supermajority. It was in 2017. I did a recall against State Senator Josh Newman, and we won the recall in 2018 by removing him from the state Senate. Republicans then broke the supermajority, and we stopped tax increases for a period of a year. And then, of course, Republicans crapped the sheets in the next election and lost the seats back to the Democrats, and now are in the super minority. But Democrats know that I'm the super minority slayer, or super majority slayer. We ended the super majority of the Democrats, and I plan to do it again. But one of the things they also know I did is I recall local elected officials who are bad. And here is, let me go to this, the first story. Here's the story of me announcing in 2021 the recall of Corey Schumacher in the city of Carlsbad, California, right here in San Diego County. Talk radio host announces Carlsbad recall effort. Councilwoman Corey Schumacher targeted by Carl DeMaio's group. That would be Reform California. So we filed this recall against her. Why? Number one, she voted in favor of the dreaded mileage tax being applied to all drivers, which would cost $900 per driver per year. Outrageous that that tax would be advanced. Number two, she proposed banning gas appliances in all buildings and homes, and requiring, not just for new construction, requiring expensive retrofits of existing homes, costing homeowners $30,000 per pop. And third, when people criticized her for her support for the mileage tax or these crazy natural gas appliance bans, when she was criticized on social media, she falsely accused her critics of making violent threats against her, told Carlsbad police to go harass them, and then filed a phony, unsupported restraining order against these people, saying that they were violent and threatening her life. Now, she knew what she was doing was wrong. She knew that she was trying to bully and intimidate her critics. And she also did grave damage to these people's reputations. Because imagine this, an elected official filing a restraining order against you falsely for no grounds. And you can get a restraining order just like you can, like Rosie O'Donnell can get a donut. It's super simple. You just apply, you get a TRO. Then there's a hearing to see if you get a permanent one. So she got these temporary restraining orders, then went to the media, smeared these people in the media. The media, of course, did their dutiful role. The liberal media smeared these three constituents, critics of Corey Schumacher. And can you imagine applying for a job after that? Your prospective employer does a Google search and finds that you're a violent person, that you have a restraining order against you, or someone took a restraining order against you. And so what's going to happen here is that person's going to be smeared for life, and she's going to intimidate any criticism going forward. So we said enough's enough. Constituents came to me, said, could you lead this recall against Corey Schumacher? And I said, yes, I will. She's the epitome of the corruption and the bad behavior that we're trying to root out and reform in government in California. Well, we were so successful after we got thousands of signatures and were about to trigger the removal of her. She resigned. And there's a picture of this liberal in her men's pantsuit. Corey Schumacher says she's going to go to school. She's going to attend university outside of San Diego, and that's in 2021. Well, she's back. She got a job with the California labor unions as a political activist, a political director. And this is an example of how the special interests in the Sacramento swamp take care of their handpicked politicians that do their bidding. So she lost her political job because of us at Reform California. And then the union said, that's okay, we're going to give you a six-figure job. That's your reward for doing our bidding. That's how California politics works, or it doesn't, as is the case. That's the corruption we're up against. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this story, it ties back to that smear campaign that the Sacramento swamp, the government unions are trying to run against me. Corey Schumacher has been hired to run the campaign against me. Again, I'm not surprised. When you decide to do the right thing and take on the system, the system's going to say, fine, we're going to fight back. We're going to punish you for doing the right thing. And this is my punishment. And I wear it with a badge of honor. Okay. So someone I recalled from office is now trying to smear me and stop me from being elected. This is why I need your help. I can't stand and fight against this smear campaign alone. I'm going to need your help. So please contribute to the campaign. The only way I can fight back, the only way really that you can help me is that when she sends out a mailer that's lying and smearing, I need to send out a mailer to correct the record. Please contribute online at reformcalifornia.org. And it will help us continue to provide these daily updates on our Reform California podcast. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.